One of my most anticipated games of the future is Far Cry 7. Obviously, guys, the Far Cry series reminds me a lot of like the Resident Evil franchise. Not that they're even in the same genre, but the way that it reminds me a lot of Resident Evil is as Resident Evil has gone on as a franchise, Resident Evil seems to continue to get better and better. And Far Cry reminds me a lot of this as well. It reminds me of a franchise that gets better and better game over game. Now, I will say that Far Cry 5, in my opinion, was the best Far Cry game ever made. Far Cry 6 I thought was awesome as well. I don't think it was quite as good as Far Cry 5, but it just feels like they are building a lot of momentum, lots of people talking about Far Cry and the future of Far Cry as well. So what I wanted to go ahead and do in this segment of the show is talk about everything that we want out of Far Cry 7. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on this, and I would love to hear yours in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 things that I would love to see out of Far Cry 7. Coming in at number 1 is multiplayer. Guys, I talk about this all the time. Multiplayer, in my mind, is something that would go so well hand in hand with none other than Far Cry. It's built for it. You can just tell. Imagine playing against other people across the world, you know, on certain maps that they make based from the campaign mode. I just think it would be incredible. I thought they could make a very good multiplayer, compelling experience, to say the least. You look at other games that are out there, Call of Duty, Battlefield, CSGO, Valorant, all these games that are out there that have amazing multiplayer experiences. I'm thinking to myself, why couldn't Far Cry join the fray of FPSs that have a multiplayer experience where you're going up against other people across the world? That leads me to number 2, guys. And coming in at number 2, the next thing I would love to see are co-op modes in Far Cry 7. I would love to see, guys, where if I'm done playing the single player story or done playing it a couple of times, I get to play that campaign with a friend of mine. We can go at it together, play through the story mode, or if we want to go up against waves and waves of enemies like a horde mode from Gears of War, or we want to go up against other people across the world in a PvP setting, we can do those things. Having co-op, I think, would be really special for Far Cry 7. Coming in at number 3, I would love to see an increase in customization for your character, your customization for your weapons. I think those things would just add a lot to the overall experience as you're going and progressing through the campaign or progressing through the multiplayer, the co-op modes. You're able to get new camos on your weapons. You're able to get new attachments and all these different things that you can customize as time goes throughout the story, throughout the multiplayer, throughout the co-op. I think that would be absolutely awesome. It would bring you back to the experience over and over again. Coming in at number 4 for me, guys, one of the things that Far Cry has done such a good job at is creating incredibly compelling villains. Well, one of the things that I would love to see, guys, are, of course, new enemies, new locations, new weapons, new vehicles that you can drive. I would love to see, and I'm sure they're going to give us some new locations and all of those things, but I would love to see an emphasis on new locations, new enemies, a very compelling new villain, because they've got a lot of living up to do when we talk about, like, from the Seed family and all these different amazing villains, guys. I would absolutely love to see an increased amount of, you know, detail when it comes to the enemies, to the locations, to the, you know, the different environments. I am really, really excited about those things and passionate about those things. And so I would love those things here in Far Cry 7. Last but not least, guys, coming in at number 5 for me, the thing that I would love to see here would be a roadmap moving forward for Far Cry 7. That would be like a season pass, DLC, a roadmap that can lead us throughout the course of Far Cry 7's, you know, timeline. In terms of, as we're waiting for another Far Cry game to come out, I want there to be a ton of content for us to be able to take in upon launch, but then even, you know, after launch, and having like a number of DLCs that come out, having a season pass, things of that nature to really keep you engaged as a player, to bring you back to the experience over and over again, I think is going to be very, very important moving into Far Cry 7. But those are the 5 things that I would love to see, guys, out of Far Cry 7. What would you like to see? I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. And for more Far Cry 7 content and videos, keep it here with zrotv.